Happy New Year everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we'll be learning about Azure, and this is the very first video in this series. All the videos will be recorded in the future only in English. So one of the Azure services is called Azure Container Registry. So Container Registry is a service like Google Container Registry or Elastic Container Registry like AWS provide. Okay, so with this service, we can store and manage our Docker images. Apart from that, we could also pull and push Helm chart. So basically, we could store Docker images, Helm chart, and other artifacts as well. So we have got three different kinds of tier. In this video, we'll be explaining and identify the differences. So don't worry, I have got you back. In this video, we'll walk through pretty much everything in the portal, and I will show you what each of those actually does and how they work, right? So in the next video, I have prepared for you guys a Node.js application which we are going to Dockerize and gonna push that Node.js application Docker image to Azure Container Registry. So one of the main reasons is starting with Azure Container Registry is that we pretty much talk about microservices and containerization, right? So the whole idea is that we will start with container, and using this image we will build the application using a lot of different services. So I think this is going to be pretty easy to follow along the entire series ourselves with a lot of different services that we are going to use. I just looked into the other days that over 90% of my viewers actually are not subscribed, and I would recommend you to subscribe to get me going because this is kind of like the inspiration to make more videos. So if you have not subscribed, please do subscribe, and that's how you can support me. Thank you everyone, and let's get started. So this is the landing page once you log into portal.azure.com, and this is how it will look like once you log in. And if you do not have any account, I would say please create an account to follow along the series of Azure in the future. So in this video, if you do not have any account, you can still follow because I do not have any hands-on. I will just show you the portal, basic walkthrough about Azure Container Registry. Alright, so you should be fine without an account still for this video. But if you want to follow along in the future, I would say go and create an account. Let me change the theme because it's pretty hard to watch on the screen if I have the dark theme. So I'm gonna switch from dark to Azure. The Azure theme is lighter one, the brighter one, right? So it's easy for the audience to watch the video. And I myself, when I was editing the video, actually it was for me difficult to see the screen clearly. So let me change it. So we have changed the theme from dark to brighter one, right? Dark to the lighter one. And on the corner, you can see there are a couple of options: the notification, your profile, and then the Azure Cloud Shell. So in this video, we'll be talking about Azure Container Registries. This is similar to Google Container Registry or AWS Container Registry, the Elastic Container Registry. All right. So once you go to Container Registry, this is what you will see as a definition. So build, store, secure, scan, replicate, and manage container images and artifacts with a fully managed geo-replicated instance of OCI distribution. So connect across environments including Azure Kubernetes Service, which is in short AKS, and Azure Red Hat OpenShift, and across Azure services like app services, machine learning, and batch, which is Azure Batch basically. So this is kind of like the definition for Azure Container Registry. Alright, so if you want to learn more, you can go and read from the following link. I will put the link also in the video description so you do not have to worry. This is how it will look like. Alright, so once you want to create the container registry, first of all you need to choose a subscription. So I have got pay as you go. So this is kind of like shortcut. From here you can do as well. And then you need to have a resource group. Resource group is like a logical container. So basically it's a container that holds related resources for an Azure solution. For example, you have Kubernetes, you have other services. So you could have all the services that you are using under a particular resource group. Alright, so this is like a logical container. And in the registry name, I'm going to put YouTube as a name. So it's going to be YouTube because this video is going to be only for YouTube. So youtube.azure CR, which is containerregistry.io. That's the login URL is going to be. And location, since I'm located in Finland, so I choose North Europe as my region. Availability zone we cannot choose in the basic tier. There are three different tiers. One is basic, the other one is standard, and the last one is the premium. So if we enable availability zones, then we need to choose premium as our tier. But don't worry at this point because we will go through the features in the portal once we create the container registry, what premium feature actually offer. And we will also look into the prices between basic, standard, and then the premium tiers. So nothing to worry. So let's go and see the differences between them. So if you look in here, we can choose a particular region from the drop down. I'm going to choose my region, which is North Europe. So North Europe is basically going to be the Norway region. All right. And here we can see the prices. So this service is not expensive itself. The service is pretty cheap, I would say. So if you look into the storage, so in the basic we get 10 gigabyte, right? And in the standard we get 100, and in the premium we get 500. All right, the storage for our images. And then webhooks we get from 2 to like 10, and then the premium has the higher number. All right, and the geo-replication actually is not supported even by the standard tier. It's only supported by premium. For example, let's say you want to replicate, let's say container registry, as we have chosen North Europe. So we could actually choose Ireland, for example, or let's say Germany. So where we could geo-replicate our container images as well. For example, if there are people located in Germany, so the request doesn't come all the way to North Europe. So users can get the images actually from Germany region. So this is the benefit, added benefit. So now once we have only one region, so if we have user base in the USA, so the route request will come all the way to North Europe. So we do not get the added benefit in the basic tier. Other benefit is that since we do not have zonal redundancy, so our container registry is actually in one zone within that region. So this is not really good, right? If you need highly available service, then you could geo-replicate to another region in case North Europe goes down. So basically North Europe region goes completely down. It means that your service will be down because you cannot pull Docker images from North Europe container registry, right? So this is another added advantage of it. If you want to get that, then you need to choose premium tier for it. All right, and we are not going to look into this dedicated agent pool in this video because this is right now in preview. Preview means that this is not released in production yet. They might go into production or might not go. So depending on Azure, basically they will decide whether this product should be released or not. So this is why they have preview. All right, you can see the core differences is the storage. So let's say if you are in basic tier and you have got 10 gigabyte, so does it mean that I'm only allowed to use 10 gigabyte? Actually not. We could go beyond that storage limitation, but for that there will be additional charges based on per GB storage, right? So there is like added bills, nothing else, all right? That's the disadvantage. But since I'm doing a demo and I think we are pretty good with basic one, all right, because we do not need to do a geo replication. We do not need to get really 500 gigabytes of storage memory. We could just stick to 10, all right? So here I could just go review and create. Once the validation passes, right? Validation passes, we could just create the resources. So in Azure, if you have not used every resources that you want to create, Azure will review first. It will go through the validation. It will see if the request is a valid one. If it is, then it will say, all right, the request is valid, so we'll let you create the resources that you are requesting for. All right, so this is what this validation is about. So in the networking part, you can see if we are in basic tier, is going to be public. You could also set a private access, right? But here you cannot do it. We can do it actually in the from the portal, but in here we just don't care at this moment for that feature. Okay, just stick to what I go through. So customer managed key, you want to go with your own key, it's not gonna let you do that. All right, so technically I do not want to go with the customer managed keys. Then you need to rotate your keys after a certain period of time, which is what I don't want, because if I let Azure do it for me, I do not have to worry about the expiry date, right? So I'm absolutely fine with this one because I don't really need this feature. If you need for some reason, you have to have premium tier for it, all right? And in the tag section, I would like to always tag my resources. It's really easy. If you go with the tag, you can kind of like you can filter stuffs basically, right? With the tag. So I'm gonna put year 2021. This is just a demo one, a dummy one, and I will name it as YouTube. Okay, so those are the two tags I'm going to add. And there are also naming convention how you could name your tag, right? So you can see how many characters we are allowed as a customer to put in there. Now we can go and create the resources. It has passed the validation. All right, so everything looks good. Here you can see a summary. So summary is going to be what we have just filled in, right? So the tier is going to be basic, and the research group is going to be YouTube. I have got the subscription pay as you go, and in the networking section you can see we will enable public access, public network access. Everything looks good to me, nothing is wrong. If needed, when you upgrade, you could do a lot more steps in the future, but for now, since it's demo, we are absolutely fine. I'm gonna go and hit the create button, and right here you can see deployment in progress. So it takes a little bit time, couple of seconds, and then resource will be created. So if you want to pin this resource in your dashboard that we have seen in the video, we could also do that. So I want to do that. So when I log in, right, I go to my dashboard and I can see what resources I have if you frequently use some services. So it's very easy. So here, the dashboard, as you can see, is YouTube. So I'm gonna click there and it will take me to Azure Container Registry. And here we get this summary of basically the overview of Container Registry. So the login server, as we talked about before, and the subscription, you get the subscription ID. And here you can see we have got 10 GB storage, right? And we have not used any because we did not push any images yet. Now we are going to see the most important feature to prevent accidental deletion of our resources. For example, you have created the container registry and your teammate or someone else mistakenly actually deleted the resources either by a script or from the portal. Alright, so Azure has a feature called logs. So what you could do, you could add a log. We could name whatever we want to, and then log type is going to be delete. So the idea is to prevent deletion of our container registry. So once we create, right now I do not have an image, right? So what I did actually, I actually posted an image for my second video. As you can see, it has 0.12 gigs of image, right? So here, if I want to delete it now, it's actually preventing me, right? So it's not letting me to delete it. So this feature is really cool because you don't let your production service be deleted mistakenly either by a script or by a manual deletion. So this is what will prevent it. So if I want to delete, then I need to remove the log first. It takes a little bit time. It doesn't do it right away. Behind the hood, actually, Azure is still progressing the task. So I have noticed 15 to 30 seconds is pretty cool. So after 30 seconds, try to delete it again. Hopefully it should work for you. For example, while I was recording this video, I tried at least 2 to 3 times in a single minute. I can't really recall. At least 2 times it failed. It did not let me delete the registry. So what I had to do, I think after 30 seconds or something, I was able to delete the container registry. So in your case, if you see that it doesn't work right away, which is what I have seen a lot of the times, then you should just wait a bit, let it go for like 30 seconds or more, and then try to delete it again. So now I will try to delete, right? I'm trying to delete and I have successfully deleted after I removed the lock. So now I have to create the registry again because I have just deleted the registry. So no worries, I will create it again. So now you can see the resource is completely gone, right? So this is how it's gonna help you to prevent accidental deletion. So let's click on the task. And I have nothing literally here, so you can see if you have any task, you can see task, runs and agent polls. And in this video we are not going to cover anything related to that. I will rather click on different options like in services, settings, overview and repository permissions so that you can get familiarize yourself with the portal, right? So this is related to the metrics. So you can actually get metrics from 1 hour to 30 days until 30 days. So minimum 1 hour and maximum 30 days. And here you can see total push count, total image pull count, images. So this is really cool, right? You can find kind of like the overview how heavily you are utilizing Docker pull and Docker push, for example. So if we look at the networking part, we can see public access, which is what we have under our basic tier. But so once we upgrade to premium tier, we could do a little bit more stuff, right? So for example, once you create a private endpoint, you can connect to Azure ACI web services or for example Azure AKS, right? In the access case, there is not much to see. In the encryption, we don't have customer managed encryption keys because decided that Azure will handle the encryption keys for us. Even although if we wanted, we could not because it's not supported under basic tier. So now let's have a look at the security section. So we have 0 recommendation. So Azure will recommend you to tighten your security if there is any scope for that, okay? And security alerts, this is not a free service, we need to pay for it. In the tag section, you can see the tags. This is very important, the control. I'm not going to cover this because there will be separate video for this, because this is going to be a little bit more than 20 minutes of video, I would say. So I'm not going to touch this part at this moment. For this video, we don't need. The replication part, once we upgrade to the premium one, right? Then let's say we enable Germany or we enable UK or some other region, then that particular geographical location will be highlighted right here. Right now it's gray, but once you upgrade to premium and you have enabled geo replication, then you will see a highlighted country basically on the map. Okay. In the repository section, we don't have any because we did not push any images yet. So which is why is completely empty. And in the UI, you cannot create a repository. For example, like you would be able to do it in a Docker Hub, for example, but you can't do it here. Oh, by the way, the chart push, chart delete is very important. This is for the Helm chart. In this video, in the next video, I will show you Docker push, Docker build, but not the Helm chart. Probably in some other videos, I will show you the Helm chart. All right, and repository permissions. So these two features are in preview at this moment, so I will skip them. Token is going to be used for authentication. So along with your password, you could also use token to authenticate with the registry. For example, if you have seen my GitLab registry, container registry video, there I have shown you. This is exactly the same feature. Content trust. So when we turn on, content trust enables you to push trusted images to the registry. Alright, so this is under premium tier as well. So here is the link. I will put the link in the video description. So if you're interested to know more, you can read and learn more. In the metrics section that we already went through, some of it, and here you can play with metrics. You could see successful pull count and average agent CPU pool, because we are not using it, but you would not see it. And there on the right hand side you could see different types of graphs. So you need to just play with that to understand more. I have literally covered most of it here. If you find this video useful, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what topics would interest you. That's it for today. See you in the next one.